Hello agents and welcome back to another Division video. Today I've got a build video for you that is a lot of fun. I've had a great time recently with this build in the game. I've run it through on Legendary as well and it has no problem whatsoever. We've tried duo Legendary with 2 people running this build, and we've also tried the regular 4-man Legendary, and it just makes it so easy. Like, it's really good and really fun at the same time. It's an explosive build that revolves around the artillery turret. You have a few options which I'll go over a little bit later, but this is the general combination that I'm running. There's some different ways around you can run it to achieve exactly the same results, and I'll go over that as well. First of all, we'll hit up the spec. As you can see, I'm using the grenade launcher, and if you didn't know, we'll just go over into here. You can see that that's going to give us an extra 10% increased explosive damage, which is really nice. And obviously you need to be spec'd into here so that you can actually get the artillery turret as well. Spec in to whatever gun you're going to use. I'm going to go over which gun I main hand for this build, and that's going to be a rifle. So obviously I'm spec'd into rifle. And if I flick over here and show you, I'm using the named rifle, the Surge. As you can see, my core attributes aren't brilliant. There's some room for improvement, but obviously just hit up the damage to target out of cover, and it's gonna always come with perfect spike. Headshots grant 25% skill damage for 8 seconds. You can use regular spike here if you've not got a surge. That's gonna grant you 20% skill damage. I think it's for 8 seconds. Let's just double check that very quickly. For 8 seconds as well, yep. Headshots grant 20% skill damage for 8 seconds. So if you've not got a surge, just get yourself whatever gun you prefer and put spike on it. Secondary and offhand, we're not going to use at all, so we pay no concern to them at all. But now here's the gear. You can actually roll this in a variety of different ways. What you need to achieve to get is 1 China, 1 Wyvern, 2 Hana U and 2 Grupo, and that's the combination that you need. We're using a named backpack, so this is pretty much static, the force multiplier, but everything else you can switch around to be in whatever order or whatever brand set you've already got from gear in your stash. So if you've got a really good pair of Wyvern knees, you can use them and then perhaps use a Grupo chest piece. The only thing with that is you're going to have a blue mod slot, I'm pretty sure, comes with the that chest piece. So just pay a little bit of attention to that. As you can see, I've got a red one here and I've got a blue one here. But I'll explain why. Actually, it doesn't matter too much when you see the build working. There is some room if you've not got perfect rolls. So first of all, we'll go through the mask. We're going to go with China Light on my mask. And you can see the brand set bonus is going to give me 15% explosive damage. We're going to obviously want a core attribute of a skill tier. We're going to want that across the board for all 6. But I've got skill haste, skill damage and skill duration. And these are the 3 stats you're going to want everywhere. We're going to go with skill damage as our priority stat. Then we're going to go with skill haste. And then we're going to go with skill duration in that order. Then we're going to go to the Wyvern. I got this from the raid yesterday. My teammate Shimmy gifted it to me, even though he probably might have needed it himself, but it absolutely finished off my build nicely. I was running this one before with no skill damage, but this one finished the build off really nice. The one piece Wyvern gives us 10% skill damage. Obviously, again, it's a core attribute of a skill tier. And then my attributes, I've got 10% skill damage, 12% skill haste, and I've got a mod in there for 9.7 skill duration. Absolutely perfect. We're running glass cannon. We can be in cover and still do a lot of damage. So glass cannon's perfect for this build. And all damage you deal is amplified by 25%. But all damage we take is amplified by 50. So it does sound really risky. But we can just sit in cover and not really have to worry. It's nice to be out of cover, to be proccing a gun and backpack bonuses, but if push comes to shove, we can still do a lot of damage just sat in cover. Next we'll look at the holster. This is a brand set of Hana U. We're We're going to have 2 pieces in the build because we've got the name, the backpack as well, and that's going to give us skill haste and skill damage. Absolutely perfect. And as you can see, I've got a really good holster here. Skill damage, skill haste, both max rolled. Next we'll look at the backpack. Unfortunately this comes with a red mod slot, so unless you get a really well rolled one with skill haste and skill damage on the attributes, you're going to be forced to leave yourself with the red mod slot. I've just slapped some critical hit chance in there. We're spamming the rifle, so whatever extra damage we can do from that mod is just a little bit of a bonus. I've gone with skill damage as my priority. Skill haste doesn't really matter too much. You'll find that during your encounters, your turret and whatever else you're using rarely runs out. But I'll explain a little bit later why it does have some effect. This gives us the perfect combined arms talent. Obviously you could just run regular combined arms if you've not got a force multiplier. But shooting an enemy increases total skill damage by 30% for 3 seconds. Now it sounds pretty rubbish because it's only 3 seconds. But what you'll find is that it's really easy to keep it up and it's really worth the extra damage. It really, really is. Next, these are probably the hardest pieces to come across. We're going to go with Group Ore, and we want 2-piece Group Ore for the 15% explosive damage that it provides. Now, what you're going to find is Group Ore rolls with a core attribute of red. So the problem is with that is you're going to have to find pieces that have already got almost max skill damage on so that you can roll the core attribute. Even more tougher, if you can get skill damage and skill haste and then roll the core attribute, that would be a perfect scenario. But this is where your grinding time is going to come in. At least finding a piece with skill damage on so that you can roll the core attribute. As you can see, this one came with 9.6% skill damage. And I rolled the core attribute. I actually crafted this one, which was very surprising because crafting can give very, very mixed results. Knee pads, again, Q, one of my teammates in the raid, got these. Skill haste and skill damage. They're 3/4 of the way there. They're not ideal, but the fact that it was a good chunk of both made these knees absolutely perfect. If I could get some 10% skill damage ones, I would probably drop the 10% skill haste and then roll on the skill tier. But for now, these are absolutely perfect for what I need. So we're going to head into the range and I'm going to go over why I'm using the skills that I've got with this build and what other options you do have. We're on heroic in the range and we're going to put this up to very hard. So obviously you're going to want to run the artillery turret, but then your secondary skill is up for grabs. Now I've gone with the striker drone and I know we've spec'd into a lot of explosive damage, but this still does a whole lot of damage. And it gives it, obviously because we're 6 yellows, you can see it has a whole lot of health and it gets a whole lot of damage boost anyway. And from the footage I'll show, you'll see it chunking away at enemies. It's really, really good. And what's best about it is it forces enemies out of cover as well. And they'll chase around after it and they'll move away and they won't really focus on you, which is absolutely perfect for what we want, especially if we're in a legendary. Just to quickly go over the damage stats on my skills. You can see from the turret, cooldown is 10 seconds. The duration is a huge 419 seconds. Has 5.5 million HP. And the damage it does without any buffs is 3.7 million. And it has 10 in the ammo. We're at tier 6. You can see that gives us 90% extra damage. 420% health. 50% extra blast radius. With 6 extra ammo. And if you do get an overcharge, that does give you a worthwhile boost as well. I will give you the drone damage stats as well. You can see nearly 70k. It's got nearly 3 million health, 2.8 million there, with a 251 second duration and a 14 second cooldown. And like I said, skill haste doesn't become that important at this point because the cooldowns are still pretty low. Mods wise, you want to go for damage, any extra ammo, and then I've got skill haste in there as well. And on here you can see I haven't got anything that I can use that's good at all, but I've got damage and health in there as well. So if you can get a duration mod in that left hand side, that will help even more. Other options that you'll have that will do a lot of damage will be the Seeker Mine. You could go with the cluster variant and you will still do a lot of damage. Or if you wanted to, you could go with the new sticky bomb as well and you will do a lot of damage. But I can show you some examples of that here in the range. So first of all, we're going to go with the artillery turret, because that's what this build is all about. And what I'll do is I'll just land these on here without doing any buffs at all. And if I head over into the box, obviously they're bleeding as well at the moment, which is a nice chunk of extra damage. But what you can see there, 4.6 million with absolutely zero buffs. If I was to just do the buff from the backpack, so what you'll find is when you shoot the turret, it is easier to shoot the turret first and then proc on the bad guys for damage. And let's just check out what we were doing. So we're doing 6 million there. And now we'll go for a headshot, proccing both our gun and backpack talents. And we'll check out the damage. It's all the bleed damage. And 6.8 million when we have both our talents procced as well. Really, really nice. So what I'm going to do to show you my other skill. I'm going to put this on invulnerable. Let's get it up close with us. So we're going to send this off and you can see the numbers it's doing. And if it makes this actually scroll. But then when I do a headshot, look at the damage increase just from me doing a headshot, because you can see I can consistently proc them skills back all the time. I can go into cover, I'm still going to get a lot of damage. Perhaps I can't get a headshot, so I can just do that and still get a good boost in damage as well. So like I say, you can just let that go out, let the drone go out, be doing damage after damage after damage, and it's still really, really good. So what we'll do, I'll quickly show you the other skills that you could run with this. Let them go off cooldown. We're going to go with the clusters for them awkward situations, and with no buffs. We nearly got to 4 million there. Let's reset the cooldowns. I'm looking forward to the enhanced cooldowns when TU10 rolls around. Instant haste. And then we're going to throw this out. Give ourselves a bit of time. Proc a headshot. And we 5.8 was the highest we got there with the Seekers. So really, really nice. The only thing is, because we specced into so much damage and we weren't too bothered about haste, we have got a little bit of a cooldown. I think it was about 17 seconds. So that's why I recommend, you know, always having a talent that's going to be, sorry, a skill that's always going to be up. So like the drone, like the artillery turret, they're always going to be up during your encounters. You don't really need to worry about the cooldowns. And then with the sticky bomb, I'm going to go with the explosive one, because that's where we have specced into. Get rid of this guy. And just a single shot. We got 7.2 million with that. And we're going to reset it. And this is going to be a little bit tougher, right? Because we've only got 3 seconds. But there we go. Over 10 million. 10.7 million. If you're quick enough to fire off after doing shooting with your gun. Obviously with Spike we've got 8 seconds. It's the force multiplier one that's a little bit harder because it's only 3 seconds. I'll put some footage at the end of this video for you to check out of me messing around and just having some fun with it. I hope you enjoy that, guys. Thank you for checking the video out. Come and check me out live on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE, where you'll see me running the Division most days. And I'm also doing raid help over there, so if you need help with the raid, come and check us out and check out the description where you'll find all of my links. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification for more Division content. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
I need to find out what happened to the team that was trying to repair the main shade node. The federal shelter should be beneath your current position. Find a way down there, but proceed with caution.